Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Ape Escape. In the last one we finished off World 2 and started off World 3, and now we're entering a level that stuck with me for years at this point. We are entering Dexter's Island. Something, things go boom in Dexter's lab. Honestly, that show's theme song has long escaped my mind at this point. So with this level, our obvious thing is the dinosaur there. What a great discovery, Spike. We found a completely unknown creature. I named him Dexter. Do you like that name? I think it suits him well. Dexter here is where a lot of the level's going to end up taking place. We want to actively go over here and knock down this door with the stun club. Because not only, I believe, is there a monkey back here, there's another one we can grab in this area that's just going to help us get a good count of what's going on here. But with this level in general, I have exactly one note how to describe it. Did you ever play Ocarina of Time? Did you get to Jabba Jabba's belly? This level is that dungeon. At times, almost change your homework a little bit meme sort of level of it being Jabba Jabba's belly. Also notable, over here is one of the Spectre coins for the level. And this monkey is one of the most annoying in the game because this little boat out here is just thin enough on its ridge that it's easy for him just to worm past you, and sometimes monkeys like this will just charge straight forward. Other times they will actively just try to avoid you and turn around, making actually catching up with them a trial. This is one that I guess you can recommend sneaking up on, but with how limited your approach to this place is, since you need to use that turtle to get over here, you don't exactly have much of a choice on how to do it. This monkey sucks. I've hated him since I was a kid. Thankfully, there's only, I'd say, a couple of monkeys, period, that get this bad with the chase sequence around a circle like this. And it is usually this dark blue shade of pants that does it. Like, even the yellow monkeys, since they go more on the attack than the blue ones tend to, they won't loop around nearly as much. Either way, with the two monkeys out here caught, now we can take care of the Jabba Jabba belly portion of this, whack Dexter on the schnoz, and we enter the dungeon. Now, there is one monkey in this room we can't get until we get one of the last tools, but there is one I don't get until way later anyway in the revisit, because on the opposite side of the room from the entrance, there's a very polypy room that has, I think, one of the first red-panted monkeys in the game. He wears sunglasses, has a machine gun, and will shoot you. I think he can also drop grenades, that one. The red monkeys are a little inconsistent with the weaponry. Sometimes some just have more than others. But we want to charge up this boat here because we can also get a monkey up in this general direction. This level, though, is one that stuck with me since I was a little kid. Not only because it's just Jabba Jabba's belly, but it's the earliest instance in the game that I noticed of something you may have seen happening in the background of some of the stages, a flashing panel. In particular, it drops, it guards the, I think it's the second Spectre coin in this level? We can't break those flashing panels until after we've beaten the main portion of the game, until we've gotten to the first roll of credits. More on that later on. And because of that, I always remember whenever I borrowed this game from Paul, just staring at it for like 10 minutes going, how do I break you? Swinging everything I can at the wall. Also, don't trust Natalie there. The intersections of Dexter, they say they're a maze. It's really not. It's a straightforward path with exactly one left or right branch. Be careful of these bubble enemies. They can be a little deceptive. They're really good for dropping the various slingshot ammos, which I don't think I even mentioned when we got the slingshot. You have infinite of the basic shot, but the explosive shots and the seeking shots, I think you can only hold 9 and 3 respectively, and enemies will drop that if you do that, if you need them. Here we got a tentacle fight. Shoot the green thing. Again, very similar to Jabba Jabba's belly, because that's like the little tentacle things you use the boomerang on in order to open various portions of it. It's not often I look at a level and go, this is just straight up ripping off something else, because usually there is something more original. This is the most blatant I've ever seen. Like, even this camera angle similar to that one elevator in Jabu Jabu. Although I think I might be thinking of Snowhead with that, now that I think about it. With that said, this level's a bit interesting in that it also taunts you depending on how late you get into the stage for your 6th monkey. Because in the room to my left, there's another one of those monkey gates. You need to catch a certain amount of monkeys. You need 6 to open it. And for that's another thing I went back to, just because I realized, oh, I can go in there now. My first playthrough after I first beat the level. And something I don't remember how the game handles is going back into a stage before you have everything you need to catch a monkey, because I don't do it. Like, I'm not sure if, say, there's like 3 monkeys left in this stage, if you can only catch 2, if you're just stuck there until you can catch the 3rd, or if you just have to leave, or if you can just exit the stage and it'll keep what you've caught. I don't tend to play like that, so I just don't really see it. Now, this stage also highlights something else the slingshot can do. You can use it to hit monkeys. It doesn't damage them, but it can stun them enough to knock them off of certain platforms. And in this room in particular, you need to do that in order to knock the monkeys off of that weird overhang on the opposite edge from where we entered. Oh, I know, you need exactly 1 more monkey than you need to open that door. That's right, you need 5. So you could theoretically go in there and take care of the little mini-boss that's down that way, but there's also, I think, 3 monkeys in this room, so I think I'm fine for now. That's Dexter's belly. Blatantly one thing, yes, but it's honestly a pretty chill level. There's only a few levels in the game that I'd say really start to just try to actively kill you, and we won't start getting to those until World 4 at a minimum, World 5 or 6 at the usual.
Great.
Now, something I should also note. I'm sorry if I sound a little different recently. I upgraded my editing software to its most recent version, and for some reason the noise cancellation effect just doesn't seem to work on this variant. So what I'm actually doing right now for this particular video and through at least the rest of Ape Escape is recording my commentary on the older version using the effect there, then transferring the audio.
You're heading towards the Ice Age. It will be extremely cold in this next area. The planet is covered with ice, and in some areas with strong winds, the temperatures will drop below freezing. The apes have adapted well to the new surroundings. Take full advantage of the gadgets so you can quickly move on.
Welcome to the Ice World. It's honestly shocking how un-Ice World this is outside of aesthetics, though. I mentioned before how much I love this game's soundtrack. The ice levels might have my favorite music in the game because it's just so chill and relaxing. Something I believe I've mentioned a couple times on the channel before. This is the first time I've ever noticed that that's a monkey statue there, by the way. I have several CDs of sleep music that I listen to, that I've been listening to for years. That the first one was made by my mom, and then I made various variants on it myself that all start with the same song but go different from there. This particular song is on one of those, if memory serves. It's either this or one of the next 2 stage themes. The ice levels don't actually have much of ice physics to them. If there are, they're on specially marked platforms that look slippier than the rest. The snow you just trek on normally. The biggest annoyance with these stages is sometimes they get a little more vertical than some of the others we've seen thus far, especially, I think it's the next stage or the stage after that gets real bad with it. An annoyance these stages do have, though, is that in this stage, and I believe it's the next stage, there's a monkey type that hides in igloos. And whenever they go in the igloos, the flag on top will move to the top of a different one, and that's where they'll come out of. I didn't notice the flag mechanic of that for years. I just thought they randomly popped out of a different thing with no tell. We also have a giant mammoth here, which honestly is a surprisingly good-looking character model for the rest of the game. You need to shoot the little platform on top of that with the explosive bullets on the slingshot to break that, rather. Also, I don't think I mentioned this. When it comes to switching the ammo types on the slingshot, I think there's two ways you can do it. You can either, I think, press the L3 button to do it, or you can press the button you have the slingshot mapped to over and over again. Like for me, it would be square. Again, though, I really don't find much purpose in using the other two slingshot ammo types to the point where I genuinely can't remember if the sequels keep it. Theoretically, I could just boot up one of the games right now to figure it out, but I'm going off my memory. I don't recall Ape Escape 3 having variant ammo types, at least for the slingshot. There's some things that those games do that are a little bit different anyway. Also, we have a spinning propeller there. I jumped over it for a reason, and it is an active hazard. The jump over them is a little weird, though, because the hitboxes feel like they don't exactly line up. It's a weird hazard, to say the least. And that's the last monkey. The stage is a little unique, though, in that I think it's one of the earliest stages you can just go right back into to get the last monkey, because it's just on the top layer where that last one we got was, and off to the side a little bit. I don't think there's another one I didn't get there. And that starts a little bit of a trend that it's very easy to see in these Ape Escape stages. They really don't want you getting everything on the first go for some reason, to the point with 3 or 4 particular stages, they make sure you need the last tool in the game you get for beating the game in order to get the final monkey. You can get every monkey but that one, and it gets really annoying with that because of it. And now we're moving on to a very nostalgic stage for me.
Look what I've got, a new gadget. Check it out.
Here's the Skyflyer. It'll take you to high places. I'm sending the new gadget over to you right now. Try it out in the training room. Without training, it will be too dangerous for you to continue on to the next area. Well, good luck and be careful.
Mind you, I say that about that last stage in terms of getting every monkey, but this propeller here is the tool that really allows you to get most of the monkeys in the game we haven't been able to yet. You spin the analog stick enough, and you just get a little bit of a higher elongated jump. You can continue spinning the analog stick to go long distances. You can do this off of a jump or double jump to get even further distance. With that said, if you want to get good height off of it, you want to do it from a standstill. That's, I feel, where you get the highest jump out of it. It's surprisingly useful, and it seldom ever leaves my main 4, but I always feel like we should get this just a little bit earlier so we can get a lot of monkeys earlier.
Let's go!
So I say this level is a little nostalgic. I distinctly recall whenever I borrowed the game from Paul, my down-the-street buddy, who is how I first played the game. This is the level I would consistently have problems beating on my own. Not so much for the early portions, it's because there's some jump timings that young me had trouble with later on, and in the final room, I had trouble getting monkeys, period. But I'll always remember the layout of this stage because I couldn't figure out, when I first played the game at least, I couldn't figure out exactly how the propeller worked for some reason, and thus doing some of the higher jumps was weird. It's one of those things where I don't know how I didn't know how to use the propeller because we just did the tutorial, but sometimes being a child with ADHD, I guess I just wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. With that said, this stage is notable in that it has water in it. The thing is about water in the ice stages, you'd figure it would cause damage to you. It doesn't. This isn't like some games like certain Zeldas or certain Marios, where being in the icy water too long causes you to take damage. If there's any stage of these 3 that does this, it's the first of the 3, and even then, the water in the last stage more honestly acts as just blue and white colored lava. To the point where Spike's reaction to it is the exact same animation as when he gets burned by lava. We do want to go into this water, for instance, to come over here to get the Spectre coin. That was actually one of the last ones in the game I found, if memory serves. Because I just saw this lake and didn't figure there'd be something around a U-turn. Something I like as well about this game's music, like I was already talking about how good the ice music is, period, but very often in the Ape Escape series as a whole, levels will have several themes dedicated to them and they're completely different songs, whether or not you're outside in a specific sub-area of them, and sometimes they're just remixes of a single melody, other times they're like this where it's a completely different tune, and God, I love these soundtracks. To the point of, for a while, one of my ringtones on my phone was the Ape Escape 3 title theme, and that's honestly one of my favorite title themes, period. It's just so bumpy and bouncy and adorable, and I love it. It's so catchy. Playing this game as a kid, I had trouble making those particular jumps to get a time with the propeller, to the point where that particular monkey taunted me for at least 15 minutes in a row. I wasn't great at video games when I was young, is the bottom line here. And we even got the rare return of the rowboat, but you can honestly ignore this one. The biggest thing it allows you to do is get past that jellyfish enemy in the water there. Now, this is the room where I had a lot of trouble, because if I got here, period, past the jumps, I think 3 monkeys here are surprisingly tricky to get to, because one of them is a UFO monkey, which is the one I just caught. One of them is a green monkey hiding within some igloos in the distance underneath the water. There's one on a very tight platform, and then there's that one right there, which is honestly pretty easy. This level has stuck with me the longest out of any level in the game, for honestly no real reason besides I was just bad at the game as a really little kid. Mind you, we all have those stages that we just think of and start just sweating a little bit. Like I brought up before, the Rayman 3 stage where the invincible enemies are introduced that scared the shit out of me as a kid. We all have several instances of, I couldn't beat this for shit as a little one. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 5, we're going to continue through World 4, and I think even start off World 5. See you guys then.